what you should do for them. Why can't you listen to them?
ADC warns against political witch hunt in Coup Pro.
Injustice will plunge this country into a chaos.
It's about you, the caller, the listener, the Nigerian on Nigeria Info. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
As the sun rises over this vibrant city of Lagos, we'll be right here with you. Diving into discussions that matter, we'll tackle the headlines, explore stories that shape our lives, and dissect the issues that keep us awake at night. But that's not all. The Morning Crossfire is your platform too. Your thoughts, your opinions, they all have a place right here. From politics to business and the economy, from the social issues to the heart of the city. I'll be your companion, your source of information, and your partner in exploration. And it's just not about the headlines. It's about the conversations we have, the connections we make, and the impact we create. Your insights matter, your questions matter, and your energy matters. So whether you're in traffic, having breakfast, or starting your workday, I'll be right here, keeping you informed and engaged. So Lagos, stay tuned, set your alarms, and mark your calendars, and let's kickstart our mornings together, right here on the Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info and Kofi Bartels. Let's talk. On the Morning Crossfire with me, Kofi Bartels. You have the big names, the most pressing issues, and the sharpest conversations.
We must leave that place of talking into this place of doing.
Nothing that's paying through their nose, and you are telling them after training they can't migrate. I will not be part of those who will give soft landing to these guys who are running the affairs of this country.
People are dying every day in an hour. People just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on, Kofi.
We must step beyond the talk. We have the analysis.
Join us as we dissect the headlines, bring you exclusive interviews, and dive deep into the heart of the matter. The big conversations live here.
Join Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire, weekdays 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. Still the Morning Crossfire. We're talking the failed coup attempt in Benin Republic, or the Republic of Benin. We have a guest joining us, a legal practitioner with the bias for international law and constitutional law. We're talking about Festus Ogwuche, Chief Festus Ogwuche, who now is, he's not a professor of evidence. But he recently bagged his PhD. He decided to spend some time away from the courts, so he's busy, and go back to school. And recently bagged his PhD. So I think we'll add doctor to the title. Anyway, I'm trying to get him to join us on Zoom, or trying to get our Zoom started. Thought it was already on. Once it's on, we'll put Chief Festus Ogwuche on the line. But talking about the coup attempt in Benin, the Nigerian involvement is a particular concern to a lot of you, I'm sure, out there. I mean, I've been away on break, and I didn't miss any of this. Like I said, I didn't miss talking about any of this. So we want your thoughts on this. Please tell us exactly what do you think about intervention, military intervention in Benin. Like one of our listeners did say earlier, and rightly so, Nigeria playing big brother for the rest of Africa, this time for a neighboring country. The word on the street is that the president of Benin, the government of Benin, made a request, to Nigeria, asking for support from the neighboring country. And Nigeria promptly responded, and of course sent in fighter jets and sent in troops on the ground into Cotonou. The rest, they say, is history. In the same period, you had a discussion, or you had French President Emmanuel Macron putting out a tweet saying he had a discussion with President Bola Tinubu. Now, Macron did not mention Benin Republic, did not mention the coup. But some people have already concluded that Macron ordered Tinubu to intervene in the Benin situation. Now, I don't know if that is true, but I will be cautious in jumping to that conclusion if I were you. Anyway, please call 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-0993. That's our studio line, 0201-277-0993. Apart from that line, you can also call us on another line. This one is for female listeners, 0201-465-7190, 0201-465-7190. That's another number to reach us on. I'd like to say good morning and welcome to you and to our guest, Chief Festus Ogwuche. Is it the Vigalaland? Chief, you're muted, please. You're muted, sir. Please unmute yourself. Yes.
Is it
Ate?
Ache.
Is it Ache or Ate? With a T.
Ache.
Ache.
Yoruba's version of Ache. Something like that.
All right, fantastic. Chief, first of all, congratulations on the new feather in your cap. It's not a chieftaincy feather, but an academic feather.
Yes.
Well, let me see. You have three caps now. You have the wig. You have the red cap.
Scholarly red cap.
Yes, you have the chieftaincy cap. So 2 red caps and 1 white wig or cap. We want to call it that. All right, good to have you on the program. Chief, let's move straight to the heart of the issue. Nigeria sending its armed forces into a sovereign country, sovereign state, not Nigeria, outside Nigeria, Benin Republic, to intervene and oust or intervene to end a coup that took place in that country. If Nigeria had not sent in its forces, there would have been a new government in Benin. In fact, the government had been they had installed themselves. And so we can say that the Nigerian state ousted a military junta in Benin Republic. What are your thoughts on this intervention? Is this allowed basically in international law for one country to intervene militarily in another on request?
Well, the fundamental principles of statehood are well spelled out, and that's in the area of sovereignty, the doctrine of non-interference in the affairs of other states, in respect for human rights and humanitarian law. These are clogs in the wheel of states that want to venture into the internal affairs of another state. They are well defined and prescribed in the United Nations Charter and the Montevideo Convention on the minimum standards for the existence of states. Once a state has attained its sovereign status, the rest of the states, no matter how powerful, are not allowed to intervene in their internal matters arbitrarily, except in very serious situations. And these are exceptions to that rule, to the rule of sovereignty, to the rule of non-interference in the domestic affairs of states. And the essence of those rules is just to ensure that states respect their territorial jurisdiction, not only their own territorial jurisdictions, but that of others. And states are allowed to exist consistently and continually within the bounds of their territorial powers. There are certain situations that will allow states to intervene in the affairs of other states. And this can be in very serious areas like genocide, like human rights violations, gross human rights violations that shock humanity, in areas that touch on the security or threatens the peace and security or could arouse conflict around the surrounding countries, or maybe that areas that will also touch on the the existence of other states when there's a threat. But those areas are very, very minimal, and they are just subject to the direct control of the United Nations Security Council. But for human rights violations, I think when it comes to human rights, like I used to say, there are no boundaries. There are no caste boundaries that you can say that the one state cannot get into another, penetrate into the affairs of another state, or maybe has defied international law. If a country is seen to be violating the fundamental rights of its citizens or allowing such violation within its complicit terms, and the state is literally doing nothing, that's where the right to protection of the citizens come in. Because if a state fails to protect its citizens, then it presupposes that it does not have that sovereign authority. And if sovereign authority has been conferred on it, then the international community is bound to ensure that that authority is taken away by invading such states to ensure that the fundamental rights of people are protected and guaranteed. In this situation, reliance was placed on the principle of collective self-defense. Self-defense in this realm connotes both a collective and individual self-defense, which the United Nations recognizes by its Article 51 of its charter, that states can intervene. But then such intervention must not be unilateral. It must be a multilateral intervention that will ensure the participation of other states in such manner that no economic interest will be attached to such invasion, as when a bigger state intervenes and overruns a particular state, it will steal all its mineral resources. So that multilateralism is very important, and that's why it is usually done under the banner of the United Nations with the direct supervision of the Security Council. In this one, I doubt strongly if there's any justification for that intervention, or that in international law, Nigeria has not flouted a very fundamental principle of international law, where the existence of states are paramount. Because for interventions of this nature to have that kind of cover and legality, it must be one that touches on fundamental rights, human rights violations, humanitarian demand, and the situation that could have a very massive conflictual interpretation or implication around the countries that are surrounding the area. This one does not fit into it. To restore democracy and to save democracy and to send away a military junta does not fall within that sphere. I think it's purely.
You say Article 51 of the United Nations?
Yes, Article 51 of the United Nations. That's the right of individual and collective defense.
Okay.
Which is recognized by the United Nations in circumstances that involve the direct attack. And that attack must not be internal. It's an attack that should ordinarily be from external forces. A state cannot intervene in the internal affairs of another state, even if that particular state has annoyed it one way or the other. It becomes a bullying of states. So that article avoids anything that has to do with internal affairs of states. Even internal insurrection is part of it. Coup d'etats fall within it. You cannot raise that, you cannot invoke that provision to stop a military junta from exercising whatever they want to do. If they have taken over, there are internal mechanisms to oust them.
Okay. All right. So let me go through that article you've read of the UN Charter.
Yes, very important.
You've raised Article 51 of the UN Charter. You talked about collective self-defense, which is very important. And I'm just going to ask you, in this situation here, we have the Economic Community of West African States raising a standby force, and this standby force includes Nigeria, Ghana, and other countries. So, can we therefore say that in the instance in this situation, therefore, that this Article 51 of the UN Charter, it the action by Nigeria fulfills the principle of collective self-defense, where the economic community of West African state has raised a standby force, and Nigeria, as part of that standby force, has intervened militarily to end the coup in that country.
The standby force is not there for all purposes and at all times. There must be some procedural moves that must be ensured before the standby force come into one professor, Una Hathaway, she's a professor of international law at Yale University. She had put forward the situation that the world is threatened by these invasions from one country into another. That procedural regularities must be abided with, and that the mechanism for such intervention must be clearly defined under international law. She did that. Professor Hathaway did that in response to Trump's threat to Nigeria, which everybody saw that probably it could be some sort of bullying and all that. But it is standby force, like you said, that it is not existing just solely for the purpose of going into action immediately or for whatever. There must be some procedures. And by the way, the President Tinubu did not seek the consent of the National Assembly, which is a provision under the Constitution. That he must seek it before he can deploy forces overseas or declare a state of war. This was not done, and the ECOWAS member states only began to show interest after the deed had been done. So we now say whether collective self-defense can come in prior or after the deed was done. I think what they are doing by supporting what has been done and telling us that they have their troops on ground is just to confer some bit of legitimacy and justification for the invasion. I know that within regional systems like ECOWAS, African Union, they have this mechanism to restore, to defend democracy, and to come in and to move against coupists and junta regimes.
That should be the ECOWAS treaty.
Whether it's there or not, the principle is simply to uphold democratic norms, to uphold democratic systems. But then, like we said, that does not confer to legality, because if you read that Article 51, under which any supposed action falling under the sphere comes in, it must be something that will receive the approval of the Security Council before a collectivity of states moving to intervene in the affairs of another state without authority, without authorization, without consent, without approval. And it's not just the approval of the states, the affected states, it's the approval of the United Nations Security Council. And this was not done. And by the way, for the protection of these states that are members of the United Nations, the procedure was put down on ground and things begin to happen within minutes. If the United Nations Security Council feels that, well, this is something that we should go, this is something that should happen, particularly if it does not have to do with human rights and humanitarian interventions. Those ones are separate. If it has to do with violations, gross violations of human rights, that there's a humanitarian problem in that particular entity. We don't need to go through all that procedures. But that does not have to do with coups. Because at the end of the day, the action of the states could be inimical to the interest of the population, which is very important.
Okay, so but Nigeria has intervened militarily in countries around West Africa and even Africa. We look at ECOMOG, what used to be called as ECOWAS Monitoring Group. I don't know if that was what it meant. But sir, I mean, the Economic Community of West African States, they put out a statement, in fact, two statements on the coup in Benin Republic, which is now a failed coup or a coup attempt, and they are, referring to Article 25E, and maybe we should refrain from saying Nigeria intervened militarily. Nigeria sent troops because Nigeria didn't act on its own. As we speak, there are troops from other countries For instance, Article 25E, or let me say Article 25 of the 1999 Protocol relating to the mechanism for conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping and security of the Economic Community of West African States. This is what Article 25 says. It says the mechanism shall be applied in any of the following circumstances.
You are listening.
All right, Chief, I'm sorry. We'll be back from the break and then I'll complete the question in a matter of minutes, actually.
You are throwing a very interesting part, and I wanted a quick.
Africa is all connected. With Turkish Airlines FlyFest, fly to Europe, to America, and to Istanbul at special prices. Book your ticket until December 15th for flights between September 15th and December 15th. For details, please visit TurkishAirlines.com. Turkish Airlines.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
As a mom and a dentist, I know the importance of strong teeth, beautiful white smile, and fresh breath. They give you the confidence to eat the right foods without worry, speak confidently in public, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1-2-3. It's 3 toothpaste in 1 to protect their teeth from holes, give them white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent's Triple Protection 1-2-3.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch. On the streets, they know who the Baba is. We've showed up on major stages, backed the biggest Afrobeat artists, and held it down with big concerts, epic lineups, and of course, amazing refreshment. So, when you hear Baba for the streets, it can only be Pepsi, and that's on period. Pepsi, Baba for the streets. Enjoy more vibes, more bedu, and great tasting refreshments with the Pepsi 60cl PET bottle. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Africa is all connected. With Turkish Airlines FlyFest, fly to Europe, to America, and to Istanbul at special prices. Book your ticket until December 15th for flights between September 15th and December 15th. For details, please visit TurkishAirlines.com. Turkish Airlines.
Start your day and have a good time. Kivo Krima. Where you need to have the break time. Kivo Krima. It's not tea, but Garita. Kivo Krima. Kivo Krima.
Attention Lagos, Unusual Praise 2025 returns this December. Bigger, louder, and more spirit-filled than ever. Join thousands of believers and anointed ministers as we gather to give God an unusual soul-lifting praise. Get ready for an unforgettable night of worship with Chioma Jesus, Moses Bliss, Sumisola, Mr. M and Revelation, Chinyere Udoma, Sajud Nam, Adaziah, Bidemi, DJ Sax, and many more. Unusual Praise 2025 is happening live on Friday, December 12, 5 p.m. at the main bowl, Tafa Balewa Square, Onikon, Lagos. Come with your family, friends, and loved ones. The countdown is on. Get ready for an unusual time in God's presence.
Hey, yeah, now Rabbi, with your Rabbi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, he clean well, oh, now RLB. Strong teeth RLB, fresh bread RLB, 24/7 with RLB. Strong teeth RLB.
Kivo on our teeth 24 hours protection. Use Oral-B today. Na Nigerian Dental Association. Tanda Gidigba with Oral-B.
Make your home sweet Christmas greetings. Jesus is in to be alone. Take advantage, pay installments. 50% discount offer.
Celebration is in the air. It's the Lemon Friday Christmas promo. Bask enjoy this season with Adrian Homes and enjoy discounts running up to 40%. Did I hear goodie bag? A 36-month payment spread plus installmental payment plan on initial deposit with categories starting from 300,000 naira up to 3.5 million naira. Subscribers also get gifts such as a big cow, bag of rice, mini home theater, double-door fridge, and lots more. It's time to mingle with the Christmas jingle. Reach out to us today on 0813-362-1701 or 0802-280-3182. Terms and conditions apply.
This one where you dey share Coke and Fanta today. What's it happen? My guy, you never hear them say 35cl plastic bottle don't drop to 300 naira. 300 naira. No be 350 we dey buy am before. Yes, so the price don't change. Now 300 naira now. Meaning say you dey save 50 naira for every bottle. This one na real small price, big refreshment. Oh yeah, my guy, you say take one bottle.
No lose guard. Grab your favorite 35cl plastic bottle for Coke, Fanta or Sprite for just 300 naira for any store for your side. Promo go end when I will finish. Coca-Cola, real wonder.
Oga Hustler, you guys match this hustle aura for aura. Oh yeah, carry one super commando energy drink there. Make yourself get energy to fire on. Cause to wait for this hustle, don't be by size. Super commando.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
Update. Here's the gist. New Good Mama detergent delivers express cleaning and fragrance boosters for extra freshness. All in a freshening pack made for your upgrade. Try it today.
Good Mama, the washing is fast. Good Mama, my fabric is smelling fresh. Good Mama, express cleaning. Good Mama, my laundry reason to smile.
There's a reason she's a good mama. Express cleaning, extra fresh.
Okay, now. Dependable insurance. Oh God, you are the next insurance. See as the boys the Allah. All the ladies the Allah. Insure your car protection from accidents. Unforeseen loss, you can see them. Mistakes are meant to happen. If you don't jam the car, they'll jam yours. You beat them. Yes, you will get them arrested. Your plans for that day is affected. You waste your money. You waste energy. With AXA, you can be protected.
Get the protection that pays today. Call 0700 AXA Mansa to get a motor insurance that pays. AXA, know you can.
No matter where you are, city or out of town, you deserve a great reliable connection. The Airtel 5G Smart Connect not only delivers that, but also gives you unlimited data to stream, download, and browse in your home or office. It also comes with wider coverage and super fast speed, all for just 25,000 naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to start enjoying unlimited data now. Airtel.
Mom, let's celebrate Christmas at its peak. I want Christmas lights so bright they could see it in space. Wow! I want a Christmas tree so tall players would have to watch out.
Think bigger!
Like what?
Pancakes stacked to the ceiling, delicious eggs, and a peak milk smoothie.
Just for me. Now that's Christmas at its peak.
Because truly, a peak Christmas is Christmas with Peak. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Welcome to Nigeria Info, where the news sparks conversation.
The Miete Ala Cattle Breeders Association has condemned for sanctions against them.
They are finished. We're like a sour soup waiting for someone to warm up. You have to wake up to the House of Assembly. You have to wake up to the House of Senate.
All this talk about voodoo is nonsense. If I had any authority, I'll fire
The football team is as bad as the economy of the country.
If you listen to both ends of the argument, whether it's the one where there is a genocide or the one where there's no genocide.
So ever since they have been saying they have been defeating and killing and the rest of them, it's like what they are just interested in now is who is coming to their party, who is not coming to their party.
So what do we call this one now? Chibok 3.0?
This is your space to listen, share, and be heard. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. Still the Morning Crossfire right here on 99.3 Nigerian FM. I'm Kofi Bartels. We still have Chief Festus Ogwuche, PhD, who is our guest as a legal practitioner with a bias for the Constitution and international law. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, please call our numbers. We usually advertise the numbers 0201-277-0993. That's the number for everyone, 0201-277-0993. We have a female listeners special line, 0201-465-7190. 0201-465-7190. Right, and of course, you can also send us a WhatsApp message, a WhatsApp number being 080-9597-5805, 080-9597-5805, and please indicate your name and where you are listening to us from. All right, the words of President Bola Tinubu. Today, the Nigerian Armed Forces stood gallantly as a defender and protector of constitutional order in the Republic of Benin on the invitation of the government. Armed forces acted within the ambit of the ECOWAS Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. They have helped stabilize a neighboring country and have made us proud of their commitment to sustaining our democratic values and ideals since 1999. Nigeria stands firmly with the government and the people of the Republic of Benin. These are the words of the Nigerian president. And this morning, of course, we're looking at a dramatic few days in Cotonou and other parts of Benin, a coup that shook that capital city of a neighboring country on Sunday, the 7th of December, of which the government says calm has now been restored. Indeed, it was a claim and counterclaim. We heard there was a coup. Some people said there was no coup. We saw the video recording of the coup is on national TV in Benin Republic. They went on TV and announced, and they read a beautiful speech. The speech was reminiscent of the 70s, 80s, and maybe even early 90s. Those kind of things you hear, when these guys speak. But the result is another story altogether. And of course, we thought, that was the end. And I saw a tweet from Bayo Onanuga, who said that the coup had been foiled. That was the first tweet I saw, that the coup had been foiled. And of course, presidential spokesman, it turned out so that the coup had been foiled. There are some videos flying around, but I think those are that's fake news, saying they're still fighting Cotonou, but I think that's fake news. It's not true. And then the manhunt is now on for the men or the soldiers behind the coup. And of course, to see if they can get them, bring them. Probably they'll be charged to court or something like that. There was a coup attempt in DR Congo. Don't forget, they tried to remove Tshisekedi. Or was it? Yeah, DR Congo. Those guys were also arrested, and the thing was for that's what I remember. But this is adding to the growing spate of coup d'etat across Africa, especially in West Africa. We can talk about Burkina Faso, we can talk about Mali, we can talk about Niger, we can talk about Chad, we can talk about Guinea, and most recently, just a few days ago, Guinea-Bissau, after an election, There was a coup before the results were announced. We leave West Africa. These are 6 countries in West Africa. Did I miss anyone? 6. And then we move from West Africa to go to Central Africa. You have Gabon. There was a coup there. Then we go down south. You have Madagascar. There was a coup there recently. So this adds to the growing trend of coups, and I guess is going to do justice. Is doing justice actually to the international ramifications, constitutional ramifications, legal ramifications of intervention by Nigeria in Benin Republic. Chief, before we went to the break, you cited Article 51 of the UN Charter, and you are of the view.
You are reading.
Yes.
You are reading Article 25
of the ECOWAS Treaty. Yes, treaty. The protocol. Sorry, the protocol on.
It's a protocol,
not a treaty. The protocol. I'm coming to that.
Which is very important.
Yes.
So, which is very important.
Yeah.
So
it was just to ask you a question, and I'm sorry I made it long because you were saying your view was that it was unjustified for Nigeria to intervene militarily in a coup that had already taken place in a sovereign state like Benin. But I was making the point and asking you the question: the Beninese president and government made a request to Nigeria. As far as they're concerned, maybe they had not been ousted in their opinion, and they made a request to the Nigerian government asking for help. And then we saw a statement from ECOWAS, the second statement following that coup, where they said the chair of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, that should be the president of Sierra Leone, has ordered, Julius Madabio, has ordered the deployment of elements of ECOWAS standby force to the Republic of Benin with immediate effect. That was the same day, 7th of December. And they cited Article 25E of the 1999 Protocol relating to the mechanism for conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping, and security. So I was just reading that. Now, this is what Article 25E says. I think I'll jump to... Well, let me start from the top. It says, the mechanism shall be applied in any of the following circumstances: in cases of aggression or conflict in a member state or threat thereof, in case of conflict between 2 or several member states, in case of internal conflict, A, that threatens to trigger humanitarian disaster, or B, that poses a serious threat to peace and security of the sub-region. Now it says, in event of serious and massive violation of human rights and the rule of law, in the event of an overthrow, Chief, or attempted overthrow of a democratically elected government, and any other situation as may be decided by the Mediation and Security Council, which is the ECOWAS equivalent of the UN Security Council. So that's what they're looking at, yes. So what do you say to this? Because they derive their power. If you go to the beginning of this... Yes.
From the speech you read by Tinubu, what does it connote? Does it give a presentation that maybe he acted in league with the members of the ECOWAS community?
You tell me, Chief.
He commended the Nigerian troops and said that they intervened to restore democracy. And that is the crux of my argument, that he acted unilaterally. The later actions of the Authority of Heads of State and President in conferring, is just a way of conferring some bit of justification or legitimacy to the action of the Nigerian president. He didn't act with them, he acted solely on his own. And you can deduce it from the speech which he made, even the speech of his press secretary. But that's not even the issue. The issue is that, could that intervention be justified on any ground? Forget about the ECOWAS protocol, which you just read. Because I think the issue of collective responsibilities, collective self-defense arises where you are defended. By the way, the Republic of Benin did not attack Nigeria in any way.
But they made a request. The government of Benin made a request to the.
As at the time the intervention began, the officials were under serious siege, unless we are given evidential proof that request was made prior to the intervention of Nigeria. People are suggesting that some other requests had come from some other place extraneous to even this consideration, but we are not putting any bite on it because we are yet to have any proof or evidence to that. But the thing is that can Nigeria justify its intervention in the Benin Republic? You mentioned the spate of coups and all that. And that is why coup d'etats and internal insurrections are left out in the collective responsibility of what is collective defense and the collective responsibility of what is right to protect.
So isn't this collective defense what ECOWAS protocol, the ECOWAS treaty, in fact ECOWAS as itself represents? Because this protocol relating to the mechanism for conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping and security derives its power, they say, from the ECOWAS treaty, notably Article 58. So, and if you permit me to read Article 58 of the ECOWAS treaty, they say member states undertake, this is the binding document of ECOWAS. It says on regional security, ECOWAS states undertake to work to safeguard and consolidate relations conducive to the maintenance of peace, stability, and security within the region. That's section 1 or subsection 1 of Article 58. Article 58.1. Now, Article 58.2 says, in pursuit of these objectives, regional security, member states undertake to cooperate with the community in establishing and strengthening appropriate mechanisms for the timely prevention and resolution of intrastate and interstate conflicts, paying particular regard to the need to, and it talks about blah 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 blah, a whole lot of things. But in Article 58.3 says the detailed provisions governing the political cooperation, regional peace and stability shall be defined by the relevant protocol. And this protocol here is what we just read, sir.
The ECOWAS mechanism for prevention of conflicts offer procedural guidance, but it cannot transform unilateral interventions into lawful acts of self-defense.
So can we say the Nigerian government acted unilaterally in this instance? Despite a statement by ECOWAS saying that they have they've ordered deployment of ECOWAS standby force.
I told you that the standby force cannot just on its own kickstart the process of intervention. There are procedural regularities. Part of these regularities are subsumed in the UN Charter, which is superior to the ECOWAS protocol or ECOWAS treaty. And we are also saying that by the words of Tinubu, it can be presupposed without argument whatsoever that the intervention came before the ECOWAS endorsement. And that endorsement is not even sufficient because there are other procedural things. Was there a meeting of the heads of states and presidents?
But are you denying, are you ignoring the fact that the Beninese government made a request to the Nigerian government?
Where's the proof?
Oh.
We heard that the request is coming from some other quarters outside the Benin government. No, we are not sure of that yet. But where's the proof? Where's the evidential proof upon which you can act on that transaction? The thing is that you will not allow bigger states to move in arbitrarily into smaller states because there's a protocol, a regional protocol or sub-regional ECOWAS protocol. Because it could generate to a state where it transforms to pursuit of economic self-interest of the invading state. It could culminate to a state where the whole essence of it is to entrench not democratic norms but totalitarianism and tyranny and state-stalitism, which has been the problem with the African leadership. It can generate to a state where it is just there to entrench a hegemony.
Okay, but sir, we hear there was a note verbal, from the government of Benin through its Ministry of Foreign Affairs, asking for immediate Nigerian support.
Then they have to show to justify. They have to show it the same note or the same letter or the same communication to Ghana, to Gambia, to Sierra Leone, to Senegal, to Cote d'Ivoire. This is not Nigeria has not acted singularly, and people have not challenged it in these terms, in the terms that I'm doing it now. If Nigeria had gone in a collectivity, within the collectivity of the ECOWAS sub-region, the member states.
But sir, firstly, there was a note verbal from the Republic of Benin through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'm sure they have they have a document they can show you.
They have to show us the same note verbal to Gambia. That's what I'm saying. To Benin, to Togo. Togo is just beside the Republic there. To Ghana, was there the same note verbal? It was only communicated to the Nigerian president.
No, but Ghana is there. Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire and Sierra Leone are there on as part of the ECOWAS standby force. Are you Chief, refusing? Are you deliberately ignoring?
For what predication would Nigeria now make the first move if it had not gone into league with the rest of this? And from the statement of the president and from the initial stories we got, it was a Nigerian thing, a purely Nigerian thing. But I'm saying that even if it is not a Nigerian thing, but an ECOWAS intervention where the procedures followed, was there a meeting of the authority of heads of states and presidents to take such action?
Okay, so are you saying that President Talon will be so angry right now that President Tinubu sent in Nigerian forces into Benin without his permission?
It is possible. It is possible.
It is not possible.
Well, you know the story. What happened in Guinea, where the president himself, where the man in charge was the one that instituted the upturning of the democratic system. So it could be possible. Nobody knows. But then the primary responsibility of ECOWAS, because we've now advanced from an ECOWAS of states to the ECOWAS of citizens. You mentioned the spate of queues, and they're coming after each other. And this shows some bit of distinct, probably certain attributes that you can ascribe to the democratic system are beginning to fail. And people are talking about it, and people are showing it. So such interventions must be comprehensive to include the will of the people. Because if people cannot just be there and you have that intervention at the instance of its officials, probably the action of Nigeria may be inimical, like I say, to the interest of the people of the Republic. And this should be part of this agenda because of the ongoing paradigm shift from to an ECOWAS of people.
I like the fact that you use the word may, because you're not sure, sir, what is inimical and what is not.
It's all about if anything is to happen within any population, the primary responsibility of any state or any official involved is the people. So that should be part of that. Those criteria I read about in the ECOWAS protocol. Even though it is not there, it is considered as being part of it, because even that article talked about protection of the people of the state.
Okay.
So the mechanism ECOWAS has is one that should be adjusted to reflect the will of the people.
Do you agree that the president
intervention that will make it look as if?
Do you agree that President Tinubu has flouted the Constitution and committed an impeachable offense by ordering the deployment of Nigerian troops without the National Assembly?
I said that earlier because he never consulted with the National Assembly, and so did all the states of the ECOWAS Commission. And I'm just wondering how Nigeria can act with such urgency and such urgency and precision abroad and fail in its internal mechanism to rein in the security threats and terrorists.
Chief, let me put this call on the air just a minute before we say goodbye. 99.3, good morning. 99.3, good morning.
Rotimi from Ikoyi. Yes, my submission this morning is that yes, you have read out the laws or the constitution for us, but then I want to tell you that Nigeria have not been able to take the log of wood from their own eyes. They want to take the particles just particles of wood from another person's eyes. Now the problem we have in Nigeria, we have not been able to solve it. We have somebody who are ready to come and solve it in person of the USA. They said Nigeria is a suffering state. Now it's Benin not a suffering state. That Tinubu is very quick now to go and solve their own problem for them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your time. So what should the National Assembly do in reaction to what has happened? If you're saying that the Constitution, I think Section 5. Yes.
We had the example of the Rivers imposition of pseudo-military rule. The National Assembly has the power for the peace, security, and orderliness of the country. But before they could even do it, they endorsed it after the president had taken action. So that tells us a lot of story about what will happen at the National Assembly. But then Tinubu had flouted the provisions of the Constitution in a fundamental way. But that's a story for another day altogether. The gentleman who last spoke said something very important, and I will try to state it in a much clearer form, that while Tinubu took a stance on a positivist inclination of the law, that the law should be followed, the rules must be followed, the guidance for international interventions must be followed. He applied the same thing in his own case, in a situation where unilateral intervention was not necessary.
All right, Chief, we have to go pay some bills. I want to thank you very much for your time, Chief Festus Ogwuche.
Africa is all connected. With Turkish Airlines FlyFest, fly to Europe, to America, and to Istanbul at special prices. Book your ticket until December 15th.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.